Hi, everybody. Welcome. My name is Janelle Niles, and I just want to start off by saying thank you, Algonquin College, for letting us do stand-up comedy for AC one day. So, Walalan Magwitch, thank you guys so much. If you can hear me well in the chat, give a thumbs up. I just want to make sure that I am doing well. No crackling. Good. Excellent. Zoom comedy can be a little iffy. Hi, students. Yes, we're going to have a wonderful time tonight. Thank you so much. We are Gotland Comedy. We express solidarity with humor. And if you like what you see, we ask you to share and like our pages on social media, Instagram and the Facebook. And if you don't like what you see, you can go smudge yourself. Thank you. I'm here all night. I also want to thank my cousin Rick for bringing some fresh tap water from Clear Lake. It's gives me a good iron tap water. So we have amazing acts for you tonight. Your headliner is in the back of the Zoom room. His name's Patrick Chichu from Thunder Bay. You'll see him at the end of the night. So if you can, give applause, a thumbs up. Again, we would like to hear you. So the chat is the way to go. So thumbs up, laugh, react, ask questions. We'll try to get to them, but we are trying to, perform and do comedy, so we might be in our own heads. But we do want audience interaction just to make this a little bit more easier. Like comedians are here to break walls, but now there's like a physical one in front of us. So it would be awesome for you guys to engage, because this is a give and take. Again, my name is Janelle Niles. I am your host for the evening. I am Mi'kmaq from Sipganakadik, Nova Scotia, and I have a spirit name. It's First Rays of the Sun Woman. And I see that as every day is a new day. But my parents like to call me, hey, go back to bed. What you doing up so early? Why'd the healer name you that? It's like he knew. It's like he knew. It's kind of weird sitting down doing comedy. I'm gonna stand up. I'm gonna change things around. I'm gonna stand up just to make me a little bit better. Hey, there we go. Now this is real. Any landowners in there? Any landowners? Any single landowners? No, of course not. You're all Zoomers. You can't afford nothing. Any single landowners? Yeah, I'm trying to get my land back one white man at a time. No politicians, because all they want to do is lay pipe, Like what in the Watsu Wetan is up with that? Everybody having a good night tonight or this evening? Yes, we have comedians from all over Turtle Island right now. We have some in Saskatoon, which is like 4 p.m. right now. And we have some in Toronto, from Thunder Bay, from North Bay. I'm from Nova Scotia. We're just trying to make it as inclusive as possible with all Indigenous people from all over. We're just missing that Inuk, but he, I don't know with him. I don't do that. No, I'm just joking. He's busy. So when I tell people I'm First Nations, hey, Saskatoon, thank you, Kate. When I tell people I'm First Nations, they usually have 1,000 questions, but the question I get all the time is about my status card. And yes, I do get free education as long as I keep a GPA over 3.2. And yes, I do pay taxes. Just the small one, just the small one, just the small one. And the best part is I get to hunt and fish wherever I want. So I was in Loblaws the other day and I dropped my line in the fish tank. Don't worry, I'm a security guard by profession, so I walked myself out. Thank you. I was gentle. Do you know what grinds my sage? What grinds my sage is when people, non-Indigenous people precisely, wear our sacred headdresses at music festivals. Like, don't they know that every bead is prayed for and every feather strategically placed? Like, that is earned. And I just want to tell Becky, you know, the creator isn't looking down on you while you're twerking at the DJ booth. This is what twerking is, right? Twerking. Oh, sorry, I got a panic bum. I have no bum. I can't pull off that joke. I'm going to just switch the tempo up, and I'm going to share with you a creation story. Everybody in the chat, all 35 people, you guys want to hear a creation story?
Woo!
Woo!
It was late 1980s. And systemic racism was rampant. And in the small town of Truro, Nova Scotia, lived a young Black woman who just wanted a party. But the white man turned her away. Discouraged, she's heard the drum on the wind. Come and party, come and party, come and party. And that's how I was born. Thank you. That's my creation story. It's short and sweet, much like my conception. Gotta wet my whistle. Clear lake water. So if you weren't listening, I'm actually half Black and half Indigenous. Half Black on my mom's side and Black on my. Sorry, I mixed that up. I just don't know myself today. So I'm half Black and half Native. That means my mom's Martin Lawrence and my dad's Pocahontas. And I'm a twin, so like she's Black and I'm Native. I don't know. I ruined my punchline. You guys are amazing. You guys having a good time still? Yes? Everybody just coming in? Perfect. We got 33 participants. I heard about 300 are coming, so we're at 10%. They're going to miss all this amazing material. And that's fine. You'll just have to come to another Gotland in Ottawa to see Gotland comedy. We're here all the time. We do many shows, and hopefully we'll be touring Turtle Island pretty soon. Again, thank you guys so much for coming. Yes, I'm half Black and half Native, and unfortunately, there was something hereditary that was gonna get me. It was coming. I got it. I got the beatus. I got the beatus. I got the diabetes. And unfortunately, like it comes from both sides, but I knew I had the beatus when my urine smelled delicious. Like if you're gonna be stuck in a lifeboat with anybody, it's gonna be this girl. Oh yeah, I know that's nasty. Oh man, Pepsi is not proper hydration. When they tell you that you have diabetes, you know what they don't tell you? They don't tell you you're a snack. You know, you're delicious, but to flies, to bugs. When you're out there in the wilderness, oh, there's one right now. What the deuce? Perfect timing. And you're a snack and you're delicious. And up north, there's another bug, other than that little fly, another bug. It's called a hair eater. It sits on the back of your neck and just eats the keratin, the back of your hair. Yeah. I'm like, huh. So you have diabetes and dandruff. You're an all-you-can-eat buffet. This is why we leave tree planting to the untasty vegans. all makes sense. Goes right. All right, I'm going to leave you on this, and then we'll start the show. Do you guys know the difference between buffalo and bison? Because a lot of people don't. The buffalo, they'll help you tend your fields, and you can carry things on their back. But bison will rip your pants off and humiliate you on the internet. Yes, there is a story to that. So down south in the Americas, a woman and her family were driving, and they see a bunch of bison on the road. And she's like, oh, I want a picture. I want a picture. So instead of taking the picture safely from the passenger seat, she opens her door. I'll let you guess what race she was. She opens her door and steps out and goes up to the bison, like right here, can just smell the hot breath, and tries to take a selfie. And the bison with his horn was like, nope. Just grabbed her pants, lifted it up, just shook her off. Don't worry, she's fine. And that bison became infamous for ripping a Karen's pants off. That bison's a hero. Are you guys ready to get this show started?
Woo!
Excellent. I just want to hear that. Yes, excellent. Woo! Thank you, Kale. All right. So you guys have been amazing and very generous. I'm going to just read it off my sheet here. Thank you. It's like, oh, I'm sweating. So I can't read. All right, guys. Again, Gotland Comedy, expressing solidarity with humor. Your next act, a good friend of mine, is an up-and-coming Indigenous comic who grew up in a small reservation on Birch Island, Ontario. You can catch his brand of Indigenous social comedy on all stages of North and online. He's a good friend of mine and yours. Everyone, welcome Kevin Shawanda. Thank you.
Yeah! Woo! Oh man, Janelle. Give up for Janelle, everybody. Thanks for having me here at Gotland. Yeah, woo! Yeah. I helped my cousin move off the reservation recently, which is really cool. But it turns out that his house is built on an old white person burial ground. And nothing but great shit's been happening to him ever since. The goats are a little weird though. They're always like, ooh, pay your taxes. They're always like, ooh, residential schools aren't that bad. They're always like, ooh, why can't I dress up as Pocahontas for Halloween? Because you don't have the cheekbones, bitch. You don't have the cheekbones. You don't have the cheekbones. Oh man. I think one of the coolest things about growing up on the res is that you have like a lot of like legends and stuff, you know, lots of legends. Like there's this one legend from my reservation about like all these children went missing in a flash of light, you know? And they're like, oh man, these kids must have been abducted by aliens. But it turns out it's just the RCMP. Yeah. We should have known though it wasn't aliens. We should have known because well, you know, the aliens bring people back. So you know. Oh man. Yeah. Scientists say that you know, that when your ancestors, when they survived something, that they genetically pass down fear for that thing, like all like down like through their genetic bloodline, right? Which is why like I'm terrified of smallpox blankets. Yeah. Whew. All right, got over that part. I don't know if you guys had to deal with like depression over COVID. I had to deal with depression really badly. I had really bad stint with it. If you guys like have like dealt with depression at all, it's like it's sort of like a little voice in your head that's like, oh, why even get up out of bed? You're a piece of trash. or, like you don't even talk to those people. They're not even your real friends anyways. Like a lot like my mom. She would say this. Oh man. Yeah, yeah. Or so I assume, she gave me up when I was 6 years old. So yeah, I'm adopted. Like giving somebody up at 6 years old for adoption is a lot like eating like half of your meal and then trying to get a refund. You know what I mean? Just super selfish. Just super selfish. Yeah, yeah. Like growing up on the res is a lot like growing up in the town from It, but instead of like, instead of like a killer clown, is just Justin Trudeau in blackface. I remember like going to the ballot box with like my little ballot going to go like put it into the ballot box, and there he was, Justin Trudeau in a headdress. And he says, Kevin, we all have clean drinking water down here. Like, oh! And I voted for him again. Fuck. Damn it. You fooled me again. I don't know if you guys had any like hopes or dreams when you were growing up, right? I know like a lot of people have an idea of what they want to do. Some people want to be cops and other people want to be firefighters. Like I just want to be like a professional hide and seek player, because that's what my dad did. So he wasn't around. But my mom should have known, because on their first date, they went to go see the movie Ghost Dad. And then they went to McDonald's and he ordered his food to go. And they said, Cindy, I'm not ready to have a child. You should have an abortion. Oh, shit. Hey, Janelle, knock, knock.
Who's there?
Not my dad.
Oh.
All right, guys, that's been my time. My name's been Kevin Shawanda. Give it up.
Yes, give it up for Kevin Shawanda. Wow. Well, steal my land and call me Rebecca. This is going to be a great show. Oh my goodness. Thank you guys so much for your patience. I'm going to bring up your next comedian, another good friend of mine. I will keep saying that throughout the night. Get used to it. Another great comedian. He's been kicking around the comedy scene for about 5 years, and he mines his punchlines through his everyday life. Everyone give a big hand for my friend and yours, Mike Bombay.
Woo! Yes, hello, good day.
Woo.
I had my first in-person doctor's appointment since the pandemic started last week. He asked me a question that threw me off a little bit. He was like, are you sexually active? First of all, I haven't been asked that since I was 15 years old. Health class in grade 6 kind of covered that. Second, I didn't really know how to answer. I was like, you mean like this calendar year? What are we talking here? Yeah, you learn a lot about yourself in hard times like the pandemic. I don't know if you guys remember that tornado we had in Ottawa a few years ago. I lost power for like 7 days. First thing I did when the power came back on was brush my teeth. Second thing I did was realize that nothing's been stopping me from brushing my teeth for a week. And so through these two difficult times, I learned that I can go a long time without brushing my teeth, and without even noticing. It's been a tough year, guys. It's been a tough year. I don't know. I don't online date. I don't like lying about my height, and still getting rejected for being too short. Also, I look like The Rock. Never worked out in his life. So, but I don't know. It's been a bit of a rough patch, but had a lot of relationships over the years. Someone I dated, this was like way back in high school. We were talking on the phone once. I think she thought he was saying something nice. She was like, Mike, when we first started dating, I didn't know that you were Native. And I was like, go on. She said, but I don't really see you as that. I just see you as normal. I don't know. I didn't really make a big deal of it at the time because I wanted to like keep having sex with her. So, and that's good, but that's dating, guys. I mean, like, you know, and also in her defense, like she, at the time, she was a little groggy or like whatever the opposite of woke is, whatever that's called. You know, like you learn about people, like sometimes you realize you're going out with a hot racist, and that's important to make, you know. Maybe you write it out for a while, maybe have some fun with it. I don't know. Choke me, tell me you're keeping my land. I don't know. No, I've had a lot of weird relationships over the years. Never been married. Been divorced a few times. Domestic breakup, it's kind of like a divorce. You know, someone's got to move. Maybe you bought furniture together. Like my couch is just half of one of those big sectional couches from a previous relationship. Lost the coin flip for the ottoman. She was like, I'm taking the credenza. I was like, sure. I don't even know what that is. Take all the credenza. Not gonna have to credenza anything anytime soon. But no kids, at least. No kids. Never caused a baby of any kind. Like not even an almost baby. You know, a lot of my friends these days, they're having they've had almost babies. They're having accidental babies. They're even doing unpurposed babies now. It's super weird. And they always ask me, Mike, what's going on? You never slip one past the goalie. You guys know this saying? Slip one past the goalie. I'm like, I don't really want to slip one past the goalie. It's actually one of my proudest achievements. It's super easy not to slip one past the goalie. You just need some basic goalie equipment. You can use multiple goalies if you want. Even if you think you might have slipped one past the goalie, you can get that goal called back. The next day, if you want, just make a trip to your local pharmacy, or as I like to call it, the situation room. On further review, there's no goal on the play. Just don't even aim anywhere near the net. It's my personal favorite method. Who doesn't love blasting a slap shot off the boards before you hit the showers? Good times. You guys can decide what the boards are in that analogy. Oh, yeah, choose your own adventure joke. But I don't know. I've been spending too much time on social media. I used to just go on Facebook to see what rappers I never heard of died that week. That's how I find out about new music, in memoriam Facebook posts. It's always the same picture of the guy. He's got dreads, face tattoos. Someone already photoshopped him into a ghost. I'm like, that is that appropriate? It says the same thing every time too. It's like we're shocked and saddened by the death of this promising young artist, and I get sad. It's very sad. But are we shocked? You can't believe Lil Fentanyl passed away? Facebook's fun. I love watching people I vaguely remember's kids grow up. A lot of stuff on Facebook. People are mad. People are mad at the Catholic Church. People are setting Catholic churches on fire. And nobody cares. So I think that's progress. I don't know. Even the Pope's like, I get it. Listen, I get it. people are leaving the Catholic Church. So, hey, that's not so bad. And I think maybe now's a good time to start taxing religions, really, whoever runs on that, I'll vote for them. Just really kick the Catholic Church while it's down, just really like drive a nail through their wrist, just really like crucify them financially, of course. Hey, I was Mike Bombay. You guys are great. Thanks so much. Have a good time.
Ooh.
Give it up for Mike Bombay. Oh, goodness. He's been here since day one with Gotland. Thank you so much. Everybody give it up, please. Yes, thank you so much. You're getting so much love, Mike, in the chat. Oh, thank you so much. So there's something you need to know with us Indigenous people. There's a specific tone of voice that we have. And the men, they win, of course. They sound so stoic and they sound so strong. And I would like to prove it to you right now, today. Listen up. Sorry, I just want to embody and like micmac my dad, Don't want to micmac my dad. Okay. You were looking so hard for wisdom and power. Would you even know if it was offered to you, Randy? You're looking for a vision the way a hunter chases the buffalo, like a warrior goes after scalps. And us women, we were like, hey, you got chippins for bingo? No? Alrighty, let's jumper. See? Not the same. Now, if you see the fan blowing here, I'm feeling all the colors of the wind. Yes, that's it. You think you own whatever land you land on. No. Good. Are we still having a good time, everybody in the chat there? All the participants? Yes, thank you guys so much for staying. I'm going to bring up your next act. He's all the way from Saskatoon. He's half Cree, half Mohawk, but all deadly. He got into comedy to honor his storytelling ancestors. He spent the pandemic performing at socially distanced fire pit parties, and now you can see him alongside Danny Knight as hosts of the Real Deadly podcast on CHO Network. Everybody, give a big hand to Sean Cotton.
Hey everybody, how's it going? Thanks for having me. It's great to do these Zoom shows. A little about myself. I'm a single native in my 30s with no kids.
Woo!
Woo!
I'm like a rare white buffalo. Except no one's trying to hunt me into extinction, Like no one's chasing me head over heels off a cliff. No one's trying to smoke my meat. No one's making sure all of me's getting used, Like, I got sinew. Damn. No one's even trying to stretch my hide. Like, I'm going to have to relocate and repopulate pretty soon. But, you could tell a lot about me just by looking at my braid. You can tell what kind of mood I am in. Because, like, if my braid's nice and tight, then I'm doing all right. But if my braid's in like a 3-day frizzy fringe and I'm out in public, don't even make eye contact with me. I'm outside, I'm doing my best right now. But like lately, I gotta tell you, I've had this obsession with yogurt parfaits. Like it's gotten so bad that when I go to the grocery store, they were on sale, buy one, get one free. I damn near parfaited in my pants. But like, if you take a look at a yogurt parfait, like if you just look at the cup, like I swear it's got the answers to all of Saskatchewan's problems right there, Because first, you got the white yogurt taking up all the space, but then up top, you got the brown, shattered, and broken granola. But then in the middle, you got the sweet berries of reconciliation. Reconciliations for everyone. Then you just gotta blend it like a blended family till nothing even matters anymore. It's reconciliation the parfait way. But you know, I'm half Mohawk, and you know, like Mohawks were kind of most famous for the Oka crisis, where like a golf course tried to dig up our graveyard just to add another 9 holes. And my friends still have the nerve to ask me if I want to go golfing. You know, if you're going to take me golfing, that 9th hole is going to end up a roadblock called Land Back Lane. But man, I miss traveling right now, you know, like I haven't been able to do much traveling. Like the last time I left the country, when I came back into the country, I had to deal with an East Indian customs agent. And it was kind of weird because he had an attitude, you know? And I came up to him and he was like, "What were you doing in the States?" And I was like, "Oh, just vacation, having fun." He's like, "Fun? What do you mean fun?" And I was just like, "Whoa, buddy, you're barking up the wrong tree here." You know, like just because Christopher Columbus made a mistake doesn't mean you get to be a prick about it. Like, geez. Like, could you imagine if they had indigenous customs agents in India? Man, I'd go get that job. You'd get off the plane, first thing you'd see is me. I'd be sitting there. "Wow, welcome to India. Columbus made a mistake, eh?" But man, speaking of traveling, the last time I took a road trip, I actually drove by like a herd of buffalo and they were on the side of the highway. But like right in the middle of this herd of buffalo, I saw one buffalo eating another buffalo's ass. Well, you know, my first instinct was just to think, "Aw, like even the buffalo makes sure all of them get used." Thing. Man, there's been a whole bunch of construction going on lately, and they were building this overpass. And in order to build the overpass, they had to drain a bunch of ponds in the area. And like right away, I noticed like that there was a bunch of ducks inhabiting those ponds. And I was thinking like why isn't anyone sticking up for these ducks? You know, like people protest everything nowadays. Like, why not stick up for the ducks? And you know, like your protest chants would be so easy. You could just be like, "Ducks fly together, and so do we." Or maybe, "You down with Flying V? Yeah, you know me." But you know, like all this inner joking, it came to rub in my face one day when I was sitting in the traffic of which this overpass was supposed to fix. When I saw like a family of ducks waddling along the side of the road, and they were looking over what used to be their homeland. And I just couldn't help but imagine like what was going through these ducks' heads, you know? Like I just imagine like the father duck, he's just standing there and he's just like, "Well, what are we gonna do now? We've raised generations of ducks on these ponds. Where are we gonna go?" And then the mother duck is just like reassuring. She's like, "Well, don't worry. We'll move on. We'll rebuild." And then this reassuring duck, he just comes waddling along and he's like, "Well, hold on. Maybe we don't have to rebuild. There's some man-made lakes just over there." And then the father duck, he just got pissed off. He had enough. And he's just like, "Well, then they win, Gary. You know, first they displace us, then they destroy our homeland. What's next? They'll take our ducklings, pluck their feathers, and teach them English? It'll never quacking end." Damn. No wonder why I felt for those ducks so much, you know? Jeez. But man, I grew up in Saskatoon here on John A. Macdonald Road. But I had a pretty good life on John A. Macdonald Road. But isn't that kind of ironic? Like a native guy growing up and having a good life on John A. Macdonald Road. Like, I bet you John A. McDonald would be rolling over in his grave if he knew how well I ate growing up. Damn, I had love handles. I bet you that just pissed him off. I just imagined him up in the clouds. Oh, I tried to starve the Indians, but them on my block, they're too chubby. But you know, we even had a trampoline in our backyard. I bet you that just pissed him off too. You had all these native kids just double bouncing each other, getting closer to his spirit. Ah, who am I kidding? We were probably bouncing on his head. All right, thank you guys. Thanks for having me. My name's Sean Cuthand from Saskatoon. Hope you enjoyed it.
Everyone give it up again for Sean. Thank you guys so much. Sean, that was amazing. I wish I was born on Sir John A. MacDonald way, because I would have so much more material. But I swear I wouldn't say I want to date him. I don't know why I have that joke. I'm gonna have to retire that joke. I'm looking for my land back. I don't care how I get it. I hope everyone's still having fun. Yes, thank you, Yazim and Desiree. We're having such a great show tonight. I'm going to bring up your next comedian. And sorry, one sec. Sorry, that fresh water there. Your next comedian. He brings a unique point of view that plays on his experience as a member of the 2S LGBTQ plus community, as well as his mixed background as both Anishinaabe and European ancestry. He began his comedic career in 2019 with his first ever debut at Got Land Comedy at Eddie's Diner and the Fresh Meat Festival. He finds comedy as a source to bring people together, relate to one another, and justify his flamboyant and sometimes very meta sense of humor. Everyone give a big hand to my friend and yours, Randy Schmucker.
Woo! Who wrote that? That was so poetic. So poetic. Algonquin College, it's nice to meet you. My name is Randy. I'm 24. And a little bit about myself. I'm gay, so I am obviously super popular and well liked. But I'm also vegan. So I'm super unpopular and just widely detested. I am joining a coalition called Vegans Against Veganism because I'm sick of it. I'm sick of us. There are too many plant milks. Everywhere I go, plant milk, new milk every day. I tried chickpea milk the other day, chickpea milk, and I know what you're all thinking. It tasted like, let's say it together, watered down hummus. If I wanted watered down hummus, I'd go to the shawarma place down my street and put that in my coffee. I was born with a birth defect. I'm not sure, it doesn't really present well on camera. But for the longest time, like the doctors couldn't tell what was wrong because it was the Ottawa hospital. And as I got older, it just got worse and worse and worse until I finally did my own research and realized limp wrist is not a birth defect. I'm just really gay. It's interesting being both Indigenous and gay, but it's not always a pretty sight. So Janelle, that's when you're supposed to compliment me, but
you're gorgeous, baby.
It's not always a pretty sight because like I just want to do my own thing, and when I go to powwows, you get the beat of the drum, everyone's doing their dances, and you see me off somewhere just voguing like cat, kitty, cat, 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 ah, boom, 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 swatting away flies. Thank you. I call that the men's extra fancy category.
Extra fancy.
My drag career starts tomorrow. But I was like trying to think of my drag persona, and the best drag name for a First Nations queen is already taken. Manifest Destiny. How ironic. So I decided to go with my alternate and call myself the Powwow Princess. And it's perfect because I can get my costumes at Spirit Halloween.
Nope.
I was on Parliament Hill a few weeks ago for reasons that I won't publicly admit. And people were, you know, doing all of their like emotional speeches and rallying the people. And someone had just gotten done talking, empowering the nation. And out of a sea of claps and war cries, you just hear me in the back being like, yes, you better work it. I don't do that anymore because they stopped inviting me. Did not fit in with the crowd, but that's okay. I do not formally have a spirit name, but I'm in discussions with my elder, and he recently asked me if I knew what the Ojibwe translation was for big fruit. So we're getting closer. My mom always wanted me to date someone who is also Indigenous, which is like great and dandy. I think, you know, Indigenous people are very hot, so works out there. But for all of the wrong reasons, she's like, well, Randy, I want you to date other Native men because I want Indigenous grandchildren. I'm like, Mom, that's not how I can't date a Native guy. They don't text me back. And also, I'm not sure if you've ever had this problem with your First Nations, but you can't date someone in your clan, obviously. The clan system is there to protect us. And I went on a date with this guy that I matched with on Tinder, which is not for sad people. And he was gorgeous, but he was like, oh, like, what's your clan? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, I don't know. And he's like, well, then we can't be together. And he didn't say we couldn't go on a date. He said we couldn't be together as if he'd already decided. And that's when I realized that First Nations people need their own dating app that tells you someone's like family lineage and clan system so that you don't, you know, intermingle. And it's a mix between Tinder and Ancestry.com, and we'll call it Who's Your Daddy? I saw the show on APTN, and it's a reality TV show where they bring just like First Nations people from all around the world and put them out in the bush. And I don't want to play to my stereotype because I am sure that I know how to use a hatchet, but I would really want to play up my like urban gay, like femme attitude on this reality TV show where I have to go in the bush. I'd be the guy in the corner being like, can one of the PAs please help me make this fire? Where's my makeup? I need to do a confessional. But the biggest reason why I think I'd be right for this reality TV show is because I would have the best intro lines. So I've been working on a few and I'm going to workshop them for you just for the end of my set. So my first one, picture, you know, confessional screen, and it's just me being like, hi, I'm Randy, I'm 24, and I put Bay in Anishinaabe. My second one would be, I'm Randy, I'm 24, and I'm the 3/4 Cherokee that your grandmother wasn't. And last but not least, well, I came here to establish a relationship with Creator, but I guess the Cree will do. My name is Randy Schmucker. You can find me on Instagram at RandyIsOnline. It's been a great night. I hope you guys have a wonderful time with your headliner, Patrick Chichu, and thanks to all the comedians in Janelle.
Thank you. Everyone give it up for Randy Schmucker. I love you so much. Mwah. Malalin, Magwitch. Oh. So there is something, you attendees, you've been here this whole time, that you might have missed, that you haven't heard yet, I should reiterate. We didn't do a land acknowledgement. Why didn't we do that? It's because we know. It's because we're quite aware. Yeah, that's why Indigenous comedy, like, thank you, Kale. Yeah. Before I bring up your next act, I want to thank you guys so much for taking your time to watch Gotland, Indigenous comedy show, where we express solidarity through humor. This show is supposed to incorporate all Indigenous comedians of every style of comedy to come together for just reconciliation in our own way. I know sometimes it's hard to talk about these tough subjects, but if we talk about these tough subjects through comedy, then sometimes it's just easier to listen to, easier to soak in. So thank you guys so much. Please spread the word that you saw Gotland Indigenous comedy. We are brand new. We're about almost 3 years strong now, and we hope to go across Turtle Island. So with that, I'd like to bring up your last comedian for the night, your headliner. Your headliner is a married man with 5 children and 2 grandchildren, and a proud Cree from Constance Lake First Nation, Ontario. He finds inspirations for his comedy from current events as well as his childhood, marriage, family life, and Cree heritage. He has established himself as a wonderful talent with a keen ability to connect with his audience. His confidence and adaptability ensures that the audience of varying demographics will have a wonderful time at each of his shows. And Gotland, what a perfect bio, because that's exactly what Gotland wants. We want everybody to come together. So please give a big hand to my friend and yours, Patrick Chichu.
Big hand, you said?
Yes,
Oh,
big hand.
all right. Oh, yeah, you mean top. Okay. Hi, everyone. Before we get started, I have a request, if you'll indulge me. We didn't have a warm-up session, so I didn't get a chance to check my teeth to see if they're white. Thank goodness McDonald's has these brown ones, so it makes it easier. Oh, there we go. Yeah, we're all set. I like to keep it real, keep it real and lower the expectations, as it were. So my name is, for those of you that speak English, my name is Patrick Chichu. We're on Algonquin territory, Patrick Chichu Ndijinakas. I'm a Cree, Patrick Chichu Ndijinakazo. And on the off chance we have any Italians watching, Patrick Chichu Ndijinakas. It's a silly joke, but the key to it is the gestures, of course, and just like natives, whenever you hear someone speaking Italian or native, their hands are going all over the place. Sometimes you got to be careful when you do that. Like maybe if you're at the airport, you might look like you're guiding in a jet or something. So anyway, actually, hand gestures played a big part in music. One of the most famous bands with their most famous song owes all their credit to natives. And the story is that these musicians attended a big powwow in the States, and the First Nations elder got up at the powwow to say a few words, and he starts out, just like Janelle said, had that grand voice. My people, my people, my village people. He says, if you want to grow, you have to look outward before you could build within. Is that more practical? Is if you're going to go hunting, make sure you stretch properly so you can bring that deer back to your teepee. Now you know the real story. So I'm trusting that my the microphone I had hooked up is working. I do have my backup that I borrowed from my grandson. We'll test it out just in case. Hello, hello, hello. Okay, so just in case I have this one as a backup. All right. And,
Power off.
oh, silliness continues. So I like doing Godland, you know, reaching out, giving an indigenous perspective on life. And so I feel, you know, as tonight's headliner, it's a special night for me as a comedian. I put on my nice medallion, beaded medallion. You know, if it was maybe the 100th Gotland, I might have worn my special medallion. I'll show you what, just in case you do come to the 100th and I'm part of it. I'm going to wear this medallion here, special medallion made.
Oh my God.
Exudes confidence, authority. So I use that for elections. When I run for AFN National Chief, you'll see me wearing that. But I know it looks, you know, you might question whether it's authentic, but yeah, it says right here, made in India. So Indians made it. So as mentioned, I actually I lived a long time in Thunder Bay. I'm currently residing across the river in Gatineau. Spent a lot of time in Ottawa the last few years. One thing I've observed is, you know, growing up Cree in Northern Ontario, I hunted geese. And then walking along the Ottawa River, I find that the geese are not scared. And so much so, one day I just to see how close I can get, I sat down, and sure enough, 4 geese started coming closer and closer and closer, and then they're right up on me, like close. And I mean, what could I do but put my hand like that and whoop, 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 whoop. Yeah, they gave me goosebumps. Some of you, or probably most of you, have tried out some of the fare at local barley mow. There's a few locations around Ottawa. The one that caught my eye was the one that had a pet store right beside it. And it was focused, all their business was focused on cats. It was called Barley Meow. Marketing geniuses. So now that I'm in the city, I started to notice different things between, you know, white society and natives. And even I've been looking into it, and I'm going to take one of the martial arts. So I'm thinking it's a choice between Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or BJJ, Muay Thai, or Billy Blank's Taibo. So one of those 3. And that's new to me. I've been practicing the traditional Cree martial arts. And I had to stop because conservation officers saying that's cruelty to animals when I wrestle bears. So I have to switch over to probably Muay Thai. Yeah. So yeah, I was practicing my Cree martial arts, and I got charged and went. And like I said, I can't do it anymore. Like it was a verdict, official verdict. You're just ever deadly. So I have to switch. I also noticed, even just back home, you know, there was a difference between my home community of Constance Lake First Nation and the neighboring town of Hearst. In Hearst, they had this, you know, fundraiser, and they had 1,000 ducks, rubber ducks, people's, you know, names on them. They dumped them into the river, and the first one to cross the finish line was the winner. $10,000, big money. And then Constance Lake did their version, and it's a little different. You know, our lake is, we can't even swim in it, so it's so dirty. It's like any other First Nation. There's a lot of water issues. We dumped 1,000 rubber ducks into the lake, and the last one to dissolve won the money. So a little bit different. So we had even on Facebook, for example, like I see differences there too. Like the other day, I have a 35-year-old white friend post a picture of a beautiful little baby, and you know, his little post says, "My wife and I, we'd like to welcome our first child." And I'm like, "Oh, beautiful!" Like. And then, just coincidentally, my native friend, 35 years old as well, posted a little brown baby, beautiful. And I thought, oh, well. And then his post, "My wife and I, we'd like to welcome our third grandchild." So it's a little bit different thing. It's the same, but it's a little different. Online dating. You know, you have, you've heard of these, some of these, like Tinder, dating sites, you know, Plenty of Fish. If you're feeling really brave, Christian Mingle. But there's, you know, natives are catching up. We have native dating sites, online dating sites now. Some of them are bordering on, you know, racist, you know, reaching out to the indigenous market, like blendedfamily.com. Not sure about that one, but there's some that are pretty good, like Plenty of Niche. Yeah. I met my wife on Delicious Niches.
Deliciousness.
Yeah. So when I put my profile together, I was like kind of taken aback by some of the questions. Again, just teetering on racism. So, for example, there was like age. You know, you put your name, your contact information, whatever, and then it gets to age. Over 16. You know, as soon as you hit anything over 16, how many children do you have? And there's no option for 0. And then over 30. If you're over 30, you get diverted to gookumandmushroom.com. So I don't know. But I'm a romantic, you know, online dating, and tried that, met my wife. I'm a guy who enjoys like wildlife and outdoors and all that. So I learned from nature, you know, as a young person. My grandparents' parents said you got to learn from nature. So that's how I become so romantic. Like, for example, I mean, you don't know, maybe you don't know or agree, but think about it. Crows are the most romantic creatures out there. And how you know is just watch them, especially in the spring. You watch them, and there's 2 crows. They'll be in the air, flying together, you know, playing. And it's so romantic. It's just like a ballet until they declare their love for each other. Like I said, no, you got to learn from nature. My wife and I were by the Ottawa River. We seen 2 crows. It was just beautiful. Put my arm around her, looked at her. Yeah. Wow. The crow's call is hard on the throat here. I got to keep my throat hydrated. If I don't, it becomes a little too much for the ladies. My voice gets lower and lower. Sexier and sexier. I mean, it got me in trouble. Almost got me in trouble. Had a job, and we were you're getting set up. Here's your phone. Here's how you do your phone greeting, and so on, and computer and all that. And so I'm okay. I got it. I said, and then he left. The tech person left, and I left there. I better do my phone greeting. Punched in whatever I needed to, but I was like, realized as I was going to record my phone greeting, I left the door open. So I didn't want to be shouting out my phone greeting with my door open. So I kind of whispered. And then I started getting strange messages like, holy cow, ever sexy, and then they would leave their name and number. And this kept happening. And I thought, I don't know why. So, but here's the phone message. I'll reenact it for you. It's went like this. Hello. You have reached the desk of Patrick Chichu. If you leave your name and number, later we'll make sweet love. Oh, yeah. So anyway, I don't know what the big deal about it was. So I do animal calls. Grew up hunting, so I learned a lot about animal calls. I'd like to share some today. So the first one is when I go duck hunting, I have to call ducks. So this is how it goes. Ever since Duck Dynasty on television, nobody's been impressed with that, so I can understand if it doesn't impress you. But I do also hunt geese. I'm a Cree person in Northern Ontario. You have to learn how to call geese. So this is how you call a goose. Canada goose. I'm only assuming you guys are clapping back home, so I can't hear you. I have some other calls. I call a lynx. Maybe you haven't heard of anyone calling a lynx, but this one's a little bit harder. I'm gonna have to drink water. Good. Oh, the lynx. Just kidding. I don't know how to call a lynx. I grew up, like I said, I spent a lot of my adult years in Thunder Bay, and growing up back home, there's no deer. Moved to Thunder Bay, a lot of deer in the area. My wife taught me this call. I have to assume she knows what she's talking about. She grew up in Thunder Bay and knows how to call deer. So this is how she taught me to call deer. So I'm taking her word for it. So I also hunt moose, but moose hunting and moose calling is a science. And as a result, to become better at it, I had to become an inventor as well. So, you're familiar with the standard moose call and birch bark. The standard moose call, which is great most of the time, but there are circumstances when you're hunting that you'll have to have other considerations. For example, I invented a moose call for when you just arrive at where you're moose hunting. You have no idea where the moose are. You haven't had a chance to drive around or get in a boat or anything. So you got to make a moose call multi-directional. So I invented one. You can use this one. Covers a lot of ground at once. After you've done that, you still, you're listening. No response. So it's getting late. You better make that long distance moose call so that by the morning you'll see and hear moose. So I invented the long distance moose call. Portable first. Like I said, sometimes you might be hunting on a boat. So if you're hunting on a river, and the river's windy, and you get to a corner, and you need to call around the corner. So what you do is you use this one. Works pretty good too, eh? Pretty good, eh? And if you're on the river and you have to jump in your canoe and go into one of the creeks, you can use this one. Your call will go right along. If you're hunting for an elder, elders, they're very specific. They'll say, go get me a small moose. The meat's tender. Those big moose, the meat's too rough, too tough. Get a small moose. So if you're in that predicament, I invented this. Get yourself a small moose with one of these. I like that one. What if you're hunting and then one of your moose hunting buddies is really short? So short that maybe their calls get muffled by moss. So I invented a call for them. If you're short, use this one. Periscopic. Really good. If they're really short, it's tenable. So there you go. Got you covered. And then, so again, you go to a local elder. They say, I need you to get me a cow. I prefer the taste of cow meat over a bull. Again, it's more tender, more juicy. So, when you call, any of the calls I showed you now mimics a cow or a female calling a bull or a male. So I had to really think about this and, work the science and acoustics. And I wanted to get a moose call that you can use that mimics a bull or a male calling a female cow. So this one, you'll note it looks a little funny. So what you do is you take this one, and you start calling. You got to get this right in there. You got to get this right in there. And then as you're calling, what you got to do to change it to attract the cows, you got to rub the sack while you're. And then if you're listening and you hear a cow coming, you want that cow to come. So what you do is you go, and you pull this, That's how you get a cow. It does look a little funny though, eh? It looks like an axe. I wrote down just so I know. Oh, geez, I lost it. I had a technical name for this sack. I don't know. It's scientific. I can't remember the name of the sack. Those are my animal calls. How much time do I got left?
Oh,
No?
you're pretty much good.
So I ended off with how I became an excellent moose caller. I owe it to my dad. You know, when I was young, he would take me moose hunting, but for some reason, you know, he contradicted early advice. His early advice was you got to be as quiet as possible when you're moose hunting. Moose have huge ears and they can hear you, so you got to be real quiet. But he used to always pull me aside, whisper, you know, he'd tell me jokes to make me laugh. I mean, like jokes that still make me laugh today. Like, for example, he'd say, "Hey, Pat, come here." And I go over, "Yeah, Dad." He says, "How do you catch a unique moose?" "I don't know, Dad." "Unique up on it." Oh, it makes me laugh. Better than the way he learned, though. I have to give my grandpa would call him over. "Hey, man, come here." And my dad would go, "Yeah, yeah, Dad." Oh. I'm Pat Chichu. Nice to meet you.
Hey, everybody, give it up. You saw today, that was Kevin Shawanda, Mike Bombay, Sean Cuthand, Randy Schmucker, Patrick Chichu, and myself, Janelle Niles, your host. I just want to say that some people on the Algonquin College website saw that this show started at 7 o'clock. So that's why we have half the attendees. And on Instagram and on our posters, it said 6. So unfortunately, I'm so sorry that the show has ended. However, you can find us live at Yuck Yucks Ottawa live on Elgin Street, Yuck Yucks Ottawa, October 17th, Sunday. And we will be live 2 shows back to back, one 7 p.m., one at 9:30. And also, if you're in Toronto, we have a show October 23rd at the Comedy Bar. So you can find more Indigenous comedy. You can find us online. We have our Instagram handles in the chat, and find us on social media, Gotland Comedy. And you know what grinds my sage? That we're all done. Thank you guys so much, Walalim Magwitch. And thanks again to the Students Association for having Gotland Comedy for your AC1 day. Enjoy the fireworks tonight, and I hope that this new year is perfect and it goes well. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.